and happy to be here with you and be talking about cognitive challenges, what to look for, all the things. This has been such a sought after topic lately. I always ask, how can I help you guys? And a lot of people message me about this because it's kind of figuring out, when is it normal, just memory loss, like you and I have, of where did I put my keys? I mean, I lose my phone all day, every day. Like, ask my kids, can you call it? Of course, it's on vibrate, like, or I'm losing something. So a lot of it can be normal. And then I'll just touch on when it gets more concerning and what you can do and kind of walk you through that. And then hopefully, if we have time, I'm going to watch the time. I'm going to keep it under a half hour. Hopefully I can talk about senior scams as well, because that has been huge. Sadly, one of my friends just called me the other day and told me her poor parents were going through something. And then of course it falls on us as a sandwich generation to help fix what's going on and hopefully not have our parents lose money in the process. So I'm really excited to be covering this topic because it's heavy, and I'm so sorry if you are in the place where I was, with wondering if your parent is experiencing cognitive decline that's more than normal, that you are just seeing those things where you're like, they're not acting like they used to, and it's concerning you. So I'm really sorry you're there. It is overwhelming. It is so hard to see the person that raised you, and they're really just becoming someone that you have to start helping. And you're experiencing loss. You're, mourning who your parent once was this amazing, strong, independent, super smart go-getter. And then now they're just, unfortunately, like, not able to do those things that you knew them to be able to do. And it's hard. So I just want to take a moment and send you a virtual hug, huge hug, makes me want to cry, of how heavy that is. And just, it's a lot. So give yourself grace and allow yourself to go through the emotions of it, no matter if they're diagnosed or not. If your parent's changing, it's just hard to see. So I did do a reel about a couple things to look for with cognitive decline. But when you notice your parent, if they lose their keys or little things like that, totally normal. And this is in my book as well. It's in When Roles Reverse. I even marked the chapter on cognitive decline. And it just kind of, what's nice is that it goes over the recognizing and managing, and then the types of cognitive impairments, and then recognizing the early signs of it, and then what to do and how to self-care during it. So I'll reference this as well, because with my memory, I don't have it all memorized, but I did live it. So when you see your parent asking the same questions over and over again, or especially like not knowing what day and time it is, and then if they're not able to complete tasks that they would do almost every day, like make their toast, or they just kind of are lost in that, or a recipe that they used to make all the time, and changes in their mood and personality. I know with my mom, she was not living with us. She was, we actually helped downsize her. We moved her to a retirement home because she was getting more nervous living alone. She was hearing, and I hate to do that, but we had a ring doorbell and there was no one there. But in the middle of the night, she was hearing someone knocking or ringing the doorbell, and she was just getting anxious and scared. And so she and us thought it was a good thing to go live in a retirement home where, you have secure doors, you have security, you have multiple people around you. So she felt safer. So we did move her there. And then I would say a couple months into living there, then I started to know she was sleeping more. She wasn't engaging in the social activities that she was from the very beginning. My mom is super social. She loves people, and she was not going down to meals. She was not like enjoying herself. She was just sleeping. And then it was kind of like the TV would be on, but she'd be watching it. And it was like, you know, on those, I don't even know if it's cable or live TV, when it's just like playing nothing. And she'd just be watching that, and she would wear the same thing over and over again. And my mom is the classiest, most put together person I know. And I was like, this isn't right. So I actually asked one of the women that I knew and loved that worked at the retirement home. And I was like, hey, are you noticing anything? Like, I only see what I see when I get to visit, but like you see her on a daily basis. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm definitely seeing some signs of cognitive challenges. And I say cognitive challenges because that encompasses, it could be anything. It could be dementia. It could be what my mom has, Alzheimer's. And then there's many others I list in this book, and that's what I don't have memorized. But it's sweet. One of my friends that read the book, they're like, I love that you paint the picture, because not everyone knows, but it's like mild cognitive impairment. And so, and then other forms of dementia. So it's kind of those 4 categories. And so we did a check-in with her regular doctor. And then with her regular doctor, I was like, hey, we're seeing these things. She even asked some questions, and they do like a memory check, and they'll give her 4 words. And then if she can retain those 4 words, and she's like, yeah, let's have her see the neurologist. So we went and saw the neurologist. By the way, schedule as soon as you can, because her neurologist is now booking out like 4 to 6 months in advance. So if you even have an inkling, I mean, it's an appointment, like just go. And this guy, lovely, and I'm sure he sees people all day, but he did conduct the test. And it was it was like a half hour or more, and something she knew, something she struggled with. And so it wasn't like she was completely failing it, but he also ordered her a scan because she had had a scan recently. And I think that's how, I'm not an expert, but I think that's how they can classify as Alzheimer's, is if that area has changed aesthetically from before, and it had. And so it's crazy that then we went back to the follow-up appointment, and he's like, yep, she has Alzheimer's. And I'm like, okay, now what? Like, is there like a therapy we can do? What can we do? And he did put her on a medication that slows down memory decline. And honestly, I can't even tell you if it's working, but I do feel blessed that there hasn't been a huge amount of change. She's lived with us. It'll be 2 years in January. So I haven't noticed, some days are better than others, but I haven't noticed a ginormous decline. And so I'm grateful for that. So she is on a medication, a very low dose, but she is on that. But when he gave us the diagnosis, I'm like, well, what do I do? And he was like, sure, you could go to a therapy and take her. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so exhausting. And then as I'm leaving, I see this sheet. I want to go back and take a picture of it, but it was like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And it's like, do you remember when we were parenting our kids, like from minute 1, and they would be like, don't do this, don't ever do this, don't tell them no, don't feed them this, don't only feed them this. And it was all these don'ts. And my brain just doesn't work well like that, because it literally goes to, well, I've been doing all those things you're saying don't do. I need more uplifting things. But I remember seeing it, and there was like 3 of the 8 things listed that I'm like, oh, I'm totally doing this. Like, don't correct them. Don't, overwhelm them. Anyway, so that was not helpful. That made me feel like crap walking out of there. And I was just like, I felt alone. I felt scared how to help my mom to the best of my ability with something neither of us had ever gone through before. It was crazy. And like, it just brings up a lot of emotions thinking back to that. So I am so sorry if you're going through it. And the crazy thing with any aging parent, let alone with cognitive challenges, is that every day you don't know what you're walking into. They could completely change. They could, there was days and evenings where my mom would be like, it's more in the evening, because I think it's more when they're tired. And again, it is unique to each individual. But what my mom has shown, thank God, is she knows who we are. If she's just met you, or recently met you, she can't remember your name. She plays well. She plays like, she reads a room well, is what I'm saying. People will meet her and they're like, oh, she doesn't seem like she has Alzheimer's. And then it's like 15, 20 minutes. They're like, oh, okay, now I see it. But like for a good 15 to 20 minutes during the day, she's great. That's why I planned her birthday party during the day. She has more energy. But at night, she'll get really tired and kind of loopy. And then she's saying things over and over again. She definitely says things over and over again on one car ride. Asked me 4 times if my lights are on, my headlights. I'm like, yes, Mom, they're automatic. Yes, Mom, they're automatic. It says, anyway. And so it's little. And then some seniors will some seniors will have sundowners where they really have a hard time when the sun goes down in the evening. They're tired. Some try to flee the house. My mom does not, which I'm lucky for. But there's been evenings where my mom's like, comes out. She's like, well, we got to go. And I'm like, where are we going? She's like, well, I've been here for a long time. Like, I got to pack my bags. I got to get the bus. I'm like, okay. And Brian, my husband, is the best with all this because he'll just be like, okay, so bus is in the morning. You go to sleep and we'll wake you up and like help you in the morning. Okay. And she's like, okay. And then she goes to bed thinking she's going to get on a bus in the morning. And then when she wakes up in the morning, she's completely forgotten that all happened. One funny thing, which makes me seem like a horrible person, but I just feel like telling you right now. She keeps forgetting my brother's wife's name. And she's a new wife. They recently married like a year ago. And so she'll forget her name before she comes. And I feel horrible saying that. But anyway, if you know, you know. And I always have to remind her of that. So, and then our lovely friends and neighbors who she's met like a year ago, but can't remember, but she recognizes their face-ish and then, greets them with a smile. I mean, my mom is so lovely and loving, but you could have someone that has a lot of anxiety. You could have a parent that has, they're angry or they're frustrated. And I can't even imagine. I have a lot of compassion for them because I can't even imagine realizing you are losing your memory. You are losing your ability to act as if you have always in your life. So I have so much compassion for them. And I think there is a lot of ways to help put them at ease. And I'll go into that. So if you're recognizing the signs, start the conversation with your parent. Just be like, hey, let's go. I think we should go for your checkup. I don't think you've been in a while. And then you go to the doctor's appointment with them. And then at the doctor's appointment, bring up your concerns. Sometimes they do an intake form. And definitely this is where I've said before, please have your power of attorney and your medical directive and or power of attorney, whatever your state calls it, for medical in place. And whoever that is in your family that is overseeing your parents' medical care, please go to the big appointments with them so you are privy and you can also be part of it. So you can bring up your concerns and what you're noticing. Because believe me, my mom would say she's fantastic. Her memory's sharp as a tick. And she'd be like, or whatever that saying is, sharp as a whip, something, whatever. Can't remember it. Anyway, so it's so important to go into those and then bring up the concern. And then the general will lead you to the neurologist. And then at the neurologist, they do the test and then you get the results based on that. So, and then say after that neurologist appointment, your parent is diagnosed. And so again, I feel for you. It is a lot. Sometimes it's better to know what you're working with than others. But again, every situation is unique. How your parent will be exhibiting their cognitive decline. So here's some things that will help because the doctor did not help me. And I don't want anyone to feel like I felt walking out of that office completely hopeless, clueless, and lost and alone and scared and sad. None of those things. That isn't my objective to have you have none of those. So you want to create a routine for your parent. So depending where they live, if they live independently, or if they live in a home, I don't think you would need to rush into getting them memory care right away. It's expensive. There's some things you can put into place depending how severe their memory loss is. Maybe ask the neurologist, be like, what things should I have in place? It will demand a lot more of you or some help if they are not willing to or able to take their medication on time and those type of things. And so, sorry, I had a text. I hope it's still going. But yes, I think it is. But creating a routine for your parent is huge because it gives them when things go out of the norm, it's like when your kids were little, it's like they just thrive on routine. And then safety is huge. So I have an Amazon storefront. I will link it in here. But there's some safety things to put into place, making sure, because they're just not as aware. This is when you should, or someone should be able to check in on food expiration dates and see what they're eating, hydration reminders, medication reminders, because they're all those things, those simple little tasks that they were able to perform every day with no problem. Now they're not able to. And again, it depends per person, but highly likely that's kind of one of the first things. And so I would be calling my mom in the morning. Good morning, Mom. How are you doing? Great. Did you take your medication? She would tell me she did, and she didn't. So I have some things that can help with that. We also had to kick in at her senior living the medication management because it was getting too hard. That's one of the big reasons we moved her in, but there are some things in place, something I'm also working on that will help with this as well. And if they live in place, there is some excellent people on care.com if you are not able to, because I know you're busy and it's a lot. Care.com is a great resource. Sorry, my dog is seeing a squirrel and he's probably going to go crazy in a minute. But care.com, they have adult caretakers, not a nurse. You do not need a nurse unless your parent is unable, they can't change or wash or do that. Do not pay the money. Get someone that's older but capable, like I have. I have a Sally, and she's the best. Ask around, ask your friends. There's some awesome grandmas that are still physically able that would be awesome to pay $25 an hour to do a check-in. If there's a neighbor that's retired that you're like, hey, can I ask a favor of you? Would you be able to do this and we'll pay you, or I'll do something for you? What can we do to help you? Just that daily check-in with your parent to do the medication, hydration, and make sure they're having a meal or two. That is huge. So get some help. And like I said, care.com, a neighbor, a friend. I would not spend the money on a nurse right off the bat until you have to, because it is very expensive. And again, if you need it, you need it. But, and then do the safety checklist. I have a safety checklist in the book on what to make sure. That's the checklist for living in place and or wherever they're living. If they're at a senior home, a foster home, wherever they are. And then memory aids. I have I'm sorry I don't have it with me plugged in, but my mom has a great clock. Awesome for cognitive decline. What it says is the day of the week, the time of day, and the month and date. So she doesn't have to guess. She'll wake up and it'll be 8 a.m. and she doesn't know if it's p.m. She has no idea what time, day, whatever. So that clock has helped for a while. And anyway, that is a great resource. And then the supporting, wrote support communication. Don't you love when you write a note and then you're like, what is that? Anyway, but you want to make sure you talk clearly and slowly with them. Getting hearing aids, a hearing aid check or hearing aids is huge if your parents don't already have them. I take my mom in every 3 months for a tune-up, and that helps a lot with her being able to engage and communicate, and it helps with the memory. I actually would also do that at the beginning. If you're noticing decline, I would take them in for a hearing aid check as well. And then comfort items. Oh my gosh, do they become childlike? My mom had a cat. I don't know if you've heard our podcast about this cat, but anyway, it's you have to laugh or cry, and we laugh. No. And so anyway, we got her a stuffed animal that's the same size as her cat, and she puts on her lap. There's ones you can warm up in the microwave, and be really soothing and comforting and warm for them. That is huge for people with cognitive issues. I've seen that firsthand, what joy and comfort it brings my mom, and no one's judging. It makes her happy, and she uses it in her room while she's watching TV, and she just cuddles with this stuffed dog. It's cute. So anyway, got at Target, not fancy. And then because I'm running low on time and oh no, I can't talk about senior scams. I'm going to have to talk about it next time. But because that's so big. But you want to educate yourself. So my book has a lot of information, and you can find my book on ebook form, or you can order a copy and I can send it to you. But on ebook, it's thesandwichedjen.com/ebook. That is a lot of information, more than I am able to cover here. But and then seek support. You got to do the self-care because it is a lot. It's a lot. And again, every day you kind of don't know what you're walking into. I mean, my mom's pretty consistent, but there's days where we're like, wow, she's really out of it today. And I can't isolate what it is that got her there. But it's a lot. It's an emotional strain is the most exhausting strain. So, again, getting support. And support, I mean, for yourself. Support as in that it's not all on you, that's helping your aging parent. So on care.com, a neighbor or a friend that you can pay or trade time or whatever with. And then I lucked out because I was in survival mode and needing help. And it was me 100% for a year with my mom while she lived here. I was her everything. And I could feel myself drowning. I could feel myself getting exhausted. I could feel just like, and my mom would never want to be a burden, as I know your parent would not want to be a burden. And so there is awesome things out there. And so our local adult community center has a respite class. If you don't know what respite means, it is where it's providing time for the caregiver, you, me, whoever's overseeing care for the senior, especially with cognitive issues. It gives you 4 hours where your senior gets to go to this class, be with other cognitively challenged individuals and the most amazing angelic volunteers there are. And honestly, what you pay for, I mean, we pay $35 for 4 hours. It is like crazy, amazing, like lucky that it exists. And my mom loves it. And it's so cute. It's like kindergarten drop off and pick up. And it's like literally a line, and they come out and get her out of the car and greet her. And then same at pickup. And my friends have been on the phone with me as I'm doing it. They're like, oh my gosh, this is the cutest. And wow, what a role reversal. Wow. Don't you remember doing that with our kiddos when they're in preschool and kindergarten? Anyway, it's like that. And then when I pick her up, I'm like, oh, what'd you do? And she's so cute. She's like, the usual, which is, she can't remember what she ate or did, but she loved it and she was happy. And I love that it gets her around other people and in communication and keeping those social muscles alive. So we do that every week. And there's just so many other things. There's a lot of, at these adult community centers, there's watercolor classes. There's so many things. So definitely look for it. And even if you have someone like 10 hours a week, just come in, make sure, they're like clean, help them tidy up, check the food, check that they've taken their medication, encouraging them to drink water because a lot of these medications make them thirsty and dehydrated. So that's so important. And just be able to do that. So seeking support, that respite class I was telling you about, there's so many other things out there, and just like doing that self-care, making sure you are balancing a lot. You're balancing your kids of any age and yourself and your spouse and also an aging parent, which is a lot. So please give yourself grace. Please know how needed, appreciated, and awesome you are. I cannot tell you enough, but I will every time I'm on here. Will remind you of how awesome you are and how needed and how appreciated, and because you need to hear it. And I hope you can receive that. And I am so sorry that I shoot big, like think I can cover 2 topics. And I just really went in depth about cognitive issues. Next week, senior scams. I will be covering it. And I just put out a reel, so check out my reel because I have 2 helpful tips on there. And with that, I hope this helps. I hope you don't feel alone. I hope this helps you feel less overwhelmed. I hope this gives you guidance on what you can do next. And I'm always here, so you can message me. I want this sandwich generation group to be one that you are communicating on as well. And so please feel free to post. I will make sure you're able to do that. And just sending you so much love and hugs, and just hope you go enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, thank you for being here with me live. Have a great rest of your day.